I'm Stacy Brayuka, the Squirrel Wrangler, and welcome to How to Wrangle a Squirrel 101. If you're here, it's probably because you're feeling overwhelmed, distracted, or just plain stuck. And let me tell you, you're in the right place. We all have those mental squirrels, those shiny, distracting thoughts, limiting beliefs, negative emotions, and old stuff that pulls us away from what really matters. Today, I'm going to show you how to wrangle those squirrels and turn them into your secret weapon for focus and productivity. By the end of this webinar, you'll have the exact framework to recognize, organize, and harness those distractions so you can regain clarity and balance, all without needing to upend your current routine or life. And if you listen all the way to the end, I'll also have a couple of free gifts for you. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Let's start by identifying some common challenges. Do any of these sound familiar? You think you have to manage everything perfectly, or it will fall apart. You feel guilty every time you're distracted. Ooh, shiny object. Like you're failing. You believe staying focused means constant, unbroken concentration, which feels impossible. Take Sarah, a small business owner. Every day she juggled emails, calls, tasks, and if one thing slipped, she believed her whole entire operation would collapse. So every distraction, like a pinging phone or a new idea, felt like a crisis. She was exhausted and overwhelmed. The truth? You can't manage everything perfectly, and trying to do so often causes burnout. Sarah learned that recognizing and prioritizing her distractions instead of reacting to them brought her relief. And if you're nodding along, you're not alone. These are the exact struggles I've seen over and over again in my work with professionals, entrepreneurs, and managers. But here's the good news. There is a better way. Yeah, I know you've heard that before, right? Today, I'm going to introduce you to a simple system, one that doesn't require extra hours in your day or drastic life changes. We're going to harness the power of your squirrels and turn distractions into stepping stones for clarity and productivity. Step one is about recognition. To wrangle a squirrel, you first have to spot it as a squirrel. This is where the How to Spot a Squirrel blueprint comes in. That might be clue number one for a free gift. Start paying attention to what's pulling you off track. Is it a new idea, an impulse, or a sudden distraction? Document it. Write it down. The act of capturing it starts to diffuse its power. Writing your distraction down signals to your brain, I got this. I got this covered. You're no longer trying to hold it up mentally, freeing up precious energy so that you can focus. Squirrel tracker. Let's say you're working on a report and suddenly you think, ooh, I need to email John about that meeting. Instead of stopping your work, write down email John in your squirrel tracker that's sitting right next to you. Now it's captured, safe and sound, so you can revisit it later without breaking your flow of where you were before that thought. Now, let's talk about cognitive load. Did you know that your brain can only process 126 bits of information at one time? This is why multitasking and unstructured thoughts can drain you so quickly. By understanding these limits, you can better manage your energy and keep yourself from being overwhelmed. Now that you've spotted your squirrels, it's time to wrangle them using the cage method. Here's how that works. Capture. Write down every distraction as soon as it arises in your book, in your iPad, in your verbal notes, whichever way works best for you. Then assess. Look at each squirrel and find out its importance and its urgency. Group. Organize your distractions into categories like tasks for later, ideas to explore, or things to let go. Then engage. Choose the right time to revisit these distractions when you are ready to tackle them, not when they come along. The cage method creates structure around the distractions. Instead of chasing every squirrel, you're training them to wait for when you're ready. Imagine Alex, a project manager who's constantly bombarded with team questions and emails. By using Cage, Alex writes each of his distractions down, assesses its importance, and plans a specific time to deal with it. This keeps him focused on his primary task without losing track of what needs attention later. Think of this like a comfy cage or a holding pen for your squirrels. You're not ignoring them, you're not throwing them out, you're just telling them, hey, dude, not right now, but soon. Once the squirrels are organized, the next step is engagement. Use the choices and consequences framework to decide when and how to tackle each distraction. For example, a big idea might go on your calendar for next week. A low priority task gets moved to a someday list. A an important to-do task maybe goes on your to-do list for tomorrow. Jessica, a writer, was constantly distracted by ideas for new blog posts. Creativity just flowing because it comes from the squirrels. Instead of abandoning her current writing, she created a folder called Blog Ideas for Later. This let her save every great idea without letting it derail her current project. Engagement is not about saying no to distractions. It's not about getting rid of the squirrels. It's about saying, not right now. This creates a sense of control and trust in your system so that you can revisit it later. You can revisit what matters when it matters. The goal here is to create a flexible, personalized focus system. And this is where Systems Are Queen comes in. This step helps you design a structure that fits your unique needs and ensures you're always moving forward, even on the busiest days. So let's recap the How to Wrangle a Squirrel system. It's broken down into 3 simple stages. You want to recognize your squirrel, spot and understand what your distractions are. Management, use the cage method to organize your squirrels. And then plan strategically when to engage with your squirrels so that you can address them at the right time, not when they distract you. If you're ready to take control of your distractions and transform them into tools for success, I invite you to take the next step. Go to stacybraiuka.com, and book a strategy call so together we can turn your squirrels into your greatest assets. Also, for listening to the end, I have a free Squirrel Wrangling 101 roadmap for you just by texting ROADMAP to 866-393-4242, or you can scan the QR code at the end. Thank you for joining me today. Now go out there, wrangle your squirrels, and reclaim your focus and balance. See you soon.